Good morning. You're listening to the MTBA House to Home Show here on WGCL. Brought to you by Commercial Service. Increase your home's efficiency. Call Commercial Service today at 1-888-335-8403 to schedule a free in-home inspection. Orkin Pest Control. Trained professionals keeping pests in their place. Call your locally owned and operated Orkin Pest Control. 331-8066. And Bloomington Paint and Wallpaper. Offering professional in-store services. Benjamin Moore and MAB Products, and now open Sundays. House to Home is brought to you by the Monroe County Building Association with your host, Nancy Baldwin.
Hello and welcome to House to Home. I'm Nancy Baldwin with the Monroe County Building Association, and today my guest is Hugh Kremer with LED Source. Welcome.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me.
No problem. LED Source is a new franchise here in Bloomington, and I don't think people, number one, know what it is or where you are, so let's talk a little bit about it. Tell me, what is LED Source, or is it just LED Source? Which do I say?
Well, I would go with LED. We don't like LED very much.
I didn't think so.
LED stands for Light Emitting Diode. And LED Source is actually one of the largest and fastest growing distributors of LED lighting in the country. And our Bloomington location, which is on South Walnut Street, right across from the Chocolate Mousse, which most people know how to find us from that.
Absolutely.
It's locally owned and operated, and we're pretty autonomous.
Mm-hmm.
The main advantages of being part of a larger group are, number one, pricing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Our buying power ensures that our customers can get the best prices possible.
Right.
Availability of top brands. These companies like Toshiba, Philips, and Cree, which is an LED company, one of the pioneers out of North Carolina, and Lighting Science Group out of Florida, that wouldn't even talk to me if I were going it alone.
Really?
No, you have to. You have to keep millions of dollars in inventory, and so being part of a larger group allows us to get the top brands in the world.
Absolutely, and that's important.
Yep, and along with the expertise, we've got some of these real industry veterans and gurus down. We're out of West Palm Beach, Florida, actually Wellington, just outside of there. And last year they lit the exterior of the Super Bowl, a real extravaganza. They do cruise ships, rock concerts. They actually started doing rock concerts. Our CEO and founder, Marcel Fairbairn, started doing rock and roll many years ago. And we do hotels and universities, and if you'll remember the movie Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, who doesn't remember that?
One of our guys, Joe Zamor, designed and built the dance floor, the lighted dance floor for Saturday Night Fever. So these people have been around for a while, and if there's something I can't figure out here, we send it down to Florida, and there's no problem they can't solve.
Well, I think LED lighting is kind of new. People it's been around forever, like what you're saying, but people haven't been on the bandwagon, and more are becoming, aware of it. They want to know more about it. They want to start using it. What are some of the advantages? Why should people use this?
Well, I'll get to the advantages, but I think that the LEDs have been around, but not in the way they are now.
Right, not in the typical uses that you see.
To be used for general lighting, the use of LEDs for general lighting really has only been possible since about 2006. So it's been a very rapid set of innovations that's gotten it to the point that it's at now.
Yeah, that is really fast.
Really, for our customers, profitability is the primary reason for many of the companies we talk with. LED lighting is about 5 times more efficient than incandescent lighting, which is the traditional lighting, and it's about twice as efficient as fluorescent lighting. This means lower energy bills and lower carbon emissions. The typical life of an LED is about 50,000 hours versus about 1,500 hours for an incandescent.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and it means about 12 years for a business that leaves its lights on 12 hours a day, not having to change a bulb for 12 years. And this means very low lamp replacement costs, low maintenance, and less waste in the landfills.
That's big. I guess I didn't realize that it would be. I mean, I knew that the lights were longer lasting, but I didn't expect them to be that long lasting. I feel like that's forever.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting you say that because the theoretical life of a silicon chip, which is what's sitting there, what's lighting up, is forever. And so it's a very sophisticated technology that keeps that little LED thing cool enough that it can last 50,000 hours. The good brands have that sophisticated heat sinking. The off-brands don't, and they're not going to get anywhere near the 50,000-hour life. There's a big difference. With LEDs, there's a huge difference in quality. You get what you pay for.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess I'm thinking about that, and so what you're saying is you really get what you pay for. And if you're going to pay for a name brand, you're paying for the name. We all know that. But I'm hearing you say you're paying for quality too, because those are the companies that also have the quality assurance in line, and they're able to give you the extended life. So you really are getting.
That's right. And most of the lamps that we sell, the bulbs that we sell, have a 5-year warranty. Which is almost unheard of for a light bulb. Most bulbs don't even last anywhere near that. And there's also something called external validation. Any of the brands we sell are externally validated by a third party, a government organization that has 2 standards called LM79 and LM80. And this guarantees, without going into it, it just means that the claims are validated by a third party. You will not see that on the off-brands. And if you see a warranty, a 5-year warranty on the off-brands, you have to wonder, well, I've never heard of this this company before. Is it even going to be around in 5 years? So Philips, Toshiba.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are some that have been around for many, many years as well. So the fly-by-nights you need to worry about.
Yeah, what they're doing, what most of them are doing is taking they're manufactured offshore with sometimes pretty shoddy manufacturing processes, and very little time goes into making sure that the bulb will last the stated amount of time. They just want to get it onto the market.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the bulbs themselves and those manufacturers. Who are your primary markets? Who are the people that you do business with?
Well, primarily it's business and commercial because of the quick and really the sustained payback. Businesses often have their lights on 10, 15, 24 hours a day, which is why the difference in cost is made up very quickly.
Sure.
Organizations like hotels, restaurants, apartment complexes, municipalities, schools, warehouses, any business with a parking lot, with indoor or outdoor parking structures, gas stations with the canopies. They might have 130 of these metal halides up there that are going out pretty frequently, using a ton of hundreds, thousands of watts. So anything like this, we can either retrofit or change out the fixtures to help them save. And really, profitability is the primary reason that anyone would want to convert to LED lighting.
Well, and it's not just the light itself. It's the energy that has to go into changing the light bulb as well. I mean, some of these companies, like you said, have very high light, so they're going to have to be renting scaffolding and things like that, or the power lifts in order to change them. So I can imagine that they wait till the last minute until several bulbs are out.
Maintenance is a big part of when we talk about there's a difference between price and cost. And I can go through a little example here in a minute. Part of our job is educating the different. The price of LEDs is higher, but the cost of ownership over the 10 or 12 years of its life is far lower. Maintenance for a lot of organizations is a big part of that. I was talking with a property owner the other day. He has several rental properties and apartment complexes, and he said, look, every time one of these, I have to go out and change one of these supposedly cheap, fluorescent, I spend a couple bucks for it, but it costs me $40 when I got to send a van out there. If one light goes out in a hallway, somebody's going to call me, and I've got to send a van out. It's going to be, I've got to pay for the road time, I've got to pay for the ladder time, I've got to pay for the gas, and it's, that if you only have to do that once every 12 years, the equation looks a lot better.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Hugh Kremer with LED Source.